Hello everybody and welcome to Learning at Home with Mrs. V. Alright, so this week we are going to be focusing on multiplying mixed numbers times fractions, or mixed numbers times mixed numbers. So we've talked about this before, but I think there was a little bit of confusion, at least from what I could see with the work that was handed in this week. So I want to go over this again, and I want you to make sure that you're referring to your notes when you are doing your work. We wrote these in our notes, so you should have it in your binder. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the mixed number to an improper fraction. So if there are two mixed numbers, then you've got to do both of them before you can do the multiplying. Then you multiply. You multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. And then step 3, change it back to a mixed number and simplify if necessary. All right, so let's get started with this first one. And we've got 2.5 times 4/5. So I have to remember, I'm going to go around in a C. I'm going to multiply 2 times 2 and then add. So multiply, then add. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 5 halves times 4/5. All right, then we go on to the next step. This was the first step. We go on to the next step, which is multiply. Remember, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Numerator times numerator, 5 times 4 is 20, and then 2 times 5 is 10. All right, so this is looking oddly familiar to me. I can do this as a division problem. So I can divide 20 divided by 10. Well, that's easy. How many 10s are there in 20? That gives me 2. Or I can decompose this and say, well, how many tenths? I can take 10 tenths out, and that would be 1 whole. And I could take another 10 tenths out, and that would be another whole, which gives me 2. All right? So that one was pretty cut and dry. So when we change that back, it isn't a mixed number anymore. It's actually a whole number. All right. So let's try another one. We've got to keep going through these steps so that we make sure you understand, and you can ask in class or you can email me if you have any questions. All right, so make sure you go through these step by step. All right, so let's try another one. Let's try 1 1/6 times 1 3/4. All right, again, we're going to go around in a C. We're going to multiply and then add. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so that's 7/6 times 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7, 7/4. All right, so now we've done our first step. We've changed these into improper fractions, and then we're going to multiply. Numerator times numerator, 7 times 7 is 49. 6 times 4 is 24. All right, so now we need to see how many 24ths are in here. Well, we can take out 24 24ths. Well, how many 24ths would that leave us with? Well, 49 minus 24, that would be 5. That would be 25 25ths. So I still have another 24 in there. 24 24ths. So that would be 1 plus 1, and that would give me 48 24ths. So that would leave me with 1 24th left, which that would be 1, 2. That would be 2 and 1 24th. All right? So all I'm doing is I'm taking the whole out of here. So I took 1 whole, which we know that when we have numerator and denominator that are the same, we can take that out, and that would equal 1 whole. So we still had another 24 24ths in there. So we could take 2 of them, 2 24 24ths, 1, 2, and then we'd still have 1 24th left. All right? You can also divide if you want to. So you could also have divided 24 divided by 49. And see, I'm just giving you different strategies. Whatever strategy you feel most comfortable with is what you should do. So I know that it would be 1 24 if I put a 1 up there, 24, that would leave me 25. And you can't have, when you're subtracting, you can't have a bigger number than what you have that you're dividing by. So then that would give me 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4, so that's 48. That would leave me 1 left over, and that would be 1/24, which is what we got. So you can either divide or you can decompose your fraction in order to figure out. Sometimes it's easier to divide, however, if the number is really large. Okay, so that just gives you some options for checking. All right, and we didn't need to simplify since it was 1/24, so we haven't had to do that step yet. All right, let's go ahead with 5 1/3 times 1 1/2. All right, again, remember, multiply, then add. 15, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. So 16/3 times 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. 3/2. All right, so now I need to multiply numerator times numerator, then denominator times denominator. So I've got 16 times 3. So I've got 6 times 3 I know is 18. 3 times 10 is 30. 30 plus 18 is 48. All right, doing it in my head, doing that mental math, that's partial product. That's how partial product can help. And then 3 times 2 is 6. So here, I can go ahead and divide. 48 divided by 6, and that would be, let's see, 7 would be 42, 8. 8 times 6 is 48. Aha. All right, or I could say 6/6. I could take another 6/6 out, that's 12. Another 6/6, and you'd keep going and you'd do 8. So see, this time the division would be easier than decomposing the number, because I would have to keep going and going and going until I got 48 of them out of there. All right. Well, let's try another one. Let's do 4/7 times 4 1/6. All right, so 4/7, we don't have a mixed number, so we don't have to do any changing to that. So then we have times plus. So 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So 25/6. Okay, so here, oh, I like this one. This one's easy. We've got quarters. So if we have 4 quarters, that would equal 100. I like that one. All right, or we could do it mental math. We could do 4 times 5 is 20, and then 4 times 20 would be 80. 80 and 20 is 100. 7 times 6 is 42. All right, so now, how many 42/42s can we take out of this? I know that sounds strange. 42 42seconds. 42 42. Okay, so if we take 40 out of here, that would be 60, so there's 58 left. So we can still take another 42 out. So there's 1, 2 I know of. Okay, so that would give me, let's see, 84. So 100 minus 80 would be 20, and then minus 4 more would be 16. So that would be 16 42seconds left. All right, so if we add these up, we have 6 plus 2 plus 2, that gives me 10. So put 1 there, and then put your 1 up here. We've got 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Okay, so that gives us 1 2 whole 2 and 16 42seconds. All right, well, let's see when we divide. So if we do 100 divided by 42. All right, so let's see, we've got 2 would be 84. All right, so 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So that's 84. Then when we subtract, 0 minus 4, can't do that, can't do that. So we've got 9, and we've got a 10 here. 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 8 is 1. So there's 16 42seconds. Now, when I look at this, I've got to look at this and think, is there any factor that both of them share? Because then they're both divisible by that. Well, when I look at this, let's see. I can do 2. I know they're both divisible by 2 because they're both even. So we've got 2 and we've got 8, and down here we've got 2, we've got 21. So 2 and 8 21sts. All right, can we break it down any further? Well, they can't both be divisible by 2 because they're not both even. So they're not going to be divisible by 4. And 21 is divisible by 3, but 8 is not. So we've got it simplified to its smallest or lowest term. Okay? All right. So I want you to remember the steps. I want you to remember, change the mixed number to an improper fraction, just like we did here. So we changed 4 1/6 to 25/6 before we could multiply. Okay, now I didn't have to do that with this one. This one was already a proper fraction, so I don't have to do anything to proper fractions. Then multiply. Remember to multiply numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. All right, then we need to change this back to a mixed number, which is what we did. We can either decompose or divide in order to do that. And then take a look at it to see if it can be simplified to lower terms. If it can, go ahead and simplify. All right? So if you have any questions, you can certainly email me or you can ask when you're in class. All right, I want you to keep watching, keep thinking, always stay curious, and I'll see you next time.